Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. The new Superman movie was filming this week with a big action scene. We got our first look at David Corenswet in his full Superman suit, along with Mr. Terrific, most of the Daily Planet main characters, and a couple of other people like Nicholas Hoult's Lex Luthor, Ms. Tessmacher. There are also a couple of funny Easter eggs for news headlines for Daily Planet articles that have been written by Clark Kent himself, like Clark Kent writing about Superman. So we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. One of the interesting things that a lot of you spotted too is that David Corenswet's actual Superman suit that he's wearing while they're filming scenes in the moment looks different from the suit he wore in the first look that James Gunn released a while ago. Like they've already changed the suit. Starting with the big stuff first, Superman and Mr. Terrific, you can see both of them working together in a couple parts of this action scene, like it's the same larger scene. I think this part here where they're standing near the military vehicle is just David Corenswet and Edie Gathegi's Mr. Terrific getting ready to enter the scene, and they're just standing off to the side about to go in. This is probably the best look at the final Superman suit. This is without any special effects, like they'll probably do some visual effects on the suit to smooth out the wrinkles. They did that a lot on a lot of the Marvel productions where they were filming outside. Like you could actually see in the behind the scenes that they had to spend a lot of time tuning the suit up in post-production. This version has a very homemade vibe to it. I did a breakdown of all the Easter eggs baked into the design, the suit itself, a while ago, so I'll link that video down in the description below. But it does support the theory that his mother, Martha Kent, makes the suit in the context of the world of this Superman using Kryptonian materials from his pod, as opposed to, say, like Henry Cavill's Superman, whose Kryptonian ship had already fabricated the Superman suit, like it was entirely a Kryptonian production. David Corenswet's Superman symbol, though, combination of a couple different things. The Kingdom Come symbol with the yellow outline of the Flesher cartoon Superman symbol from back in the day. The trunks, the belt, all Christopher Reeve Superman Easter eggs. That was probably one of the biggest surprises, too, is that James Gunn brought the trunks back. He said that he got more questions about that every day that he announced that he was actually working on it a couple years ago. Like, people's number one question, are the trunks coming back? Probably the other best comparison you can make to this version of the suit, the other recent Superman stuff, is My Adventures with Superman. It looks fairly similar to that suit. This is what his Clark Kent actually looks like. This is actually the first time we've seen his Clark Kent. Notice how his hair is messed up, so it seems like it's in a fro state, like he's just changed back to Clark Kent and tousled his hair a little bit. Probably the biggest difference you notice here is that it looks a little bit different from Christopher Reeve's slick back look. Like Christopher Reeve wore his hair pretty similarly between his Superman and his Clark Kent. It was just the glasses, his mannerisms that changed when he became Clark Kent. We haven't actually seen David Corenswet's performance as Clark Kent, but I'm expecting just based on his other real-life roles that he's played in the past, if you've seen any other production, TV show, or movie that he's been in, it'll probably feel fairly similar to Christopher Reeve's performance as Clark Kent.
For a super, that can mean...
I'm sorry, a what?
Oh, a supernumerary? A supernumerary?
It means extra.
It means background actor.
Really? Oh, sounds kind of natural. Sorry.
And I don't know how they're going to do this during the actual movie because phone booths don't exist anymore. So like you have Christopher Reeve Superman changing in phone booths. You can't really do that in present day. It doesn't make quite as much sense. But notice the Daily Planet has a revolving door. That's actually a bit of an Easter egg for the Christopher Reeve Superman movie where he changed to Superman in a revolving door. So we might actually see David Corenswet change to Superman in this revolving door at some point.
Excuse me.
Mr. Terrific's suit is just based on his original comic book suit. His real name is Michael Hoult. We saw a version of Curtis Hoult, his brother, during the Arrow series. If you're not a longtime comic book reader, the meaning of the fair play message on his suit is inspired by the original Mr. Terrific, Terry Sloan. Michael Hoult used it as his mantra then. According to Jay Garrick, Terry Sloan disliked that he was born with so many advantages in life. He expected the world to treat people equally and hated that it did not. The world wasn't fair, so he would make it. So when Michael Hoult comes along here and takes the mantle, he takes that to heart with him. He uses that as inspiration. During the action scene, the spacecraft-looking structure that all the Daily Planet characters are walking out of in the middle of the wreckage in the street from the battle is supposed to be his larger T-Sphere ship. They're just going to do the ship itself in visual effects and post-production, like they didn't build the entire ship for filming. The fact the military is here, and in this scene you see Superman and Mr. Terrific looking up at the top of the Daily Planet building from the ground here, this exterior, makes it seem like Superman has some big fight at the Daily Planet, and the part of the area might just get destroyed in collateral damage, since the street outside looks all wrecked. It just seems like Mr. Terrific winds up saving a bunch of the Daily Planet people. You can actually see Superman here walking across the rubble to Lois Lane, about to talk to her. We haven't got a look at who Superman is supposed to be fighting in this scene. I'm assuming that's going to be a full visual effect, like they'll do that in post-production. But based on how far along they are in the filming, it seems like it's happening closer to the middle of the movie. It's not part of like the big final battle. They're supposed to be filming until late August, so like they're barely in the middle, halfway of filming. Notice the back of Superman's cape. You actually get a better look at the symbol on his actual cape. This is also a bit of an Easter egg for Christopher Reeve's Superman cape, but with the new David Corenswet style of symbol. Notice Chris Pratt was also spotted on set while they were filming different scenes, but I don't think he's in the movie. He did say he'd be up for doing something in James Gunn's DC movies, and James Gunn did say that Guardians of the Galaxy actors would show up in his DC movies. But for example, one of the first big ones that we've noticed is his brother, Sean Gunn, who's playing the new version of Maxwell Lord. There's an Easter egg for Lord Tech on set too. It seems like he'll just be running a tech company during the course of the movie. There's all kinds of Easter eggs for street signs and comic book creators like Jim Lee, Mark Waid, Grant Morrison, Jeff Loeb. There's a Soder Kohler Easter egg, which is Green Lantern Easter egg. There's a Chaco's Easter egg too. I'm trying to find the picture of it, but that's actually from Martian Manhunter. Meaning that Martian Manhunter probably exists in this universe somewhere, but I don't know that he's going to be in the movie. This Reeves bookstore is an Easter egg for George Reeves, who used to play Superman back in the day. In this store for Quitely is for Frank Quitely, also Superman comic book creator. There's probably a billion other Easter eggs in some of the naming of all these different things around on the street level, all across the movie too. For those of you asking why the suit looks a little bit different from that first look James Gunn released, like I said, I think it might have been a prototype when they first released that. Like he just wanted to show this because they knew they're going to be filming outdoors soon. But by the time they actually started filming in the suit, like the physical suit, they tuned it up just to make it more comfortable, or he just liked this look a little bit better. Zack Snyder also did stuff like this when they were filming Henry Cavill's Superman Man of Steel movie, his Justice League movie. Like there were a couple different versions of the suit that he wore when they were actually filming. Sometimes it's just because they want a more comfortable version for the actor to wear when he's walking around on set. Sometimes it's because they want one that looks a little bit different on camera, or there's just some practical reason why they change aspects of the suit. But the rest of the actual Daily Planet characters here, just going in order of biggest, is Lois Lane, obviously. This is Perry White. Notice he's got a cigar in his mouth while Mr. Terrific is saving their lives. Like he didn't bother to spit his cigar out before he got his life saved. This is Jimmy Olsen. This is Cat Grant. This is Steve Lombard, and this is Ron Troop. It looks like Nicholas Hoult's Lex Luthor wasn't actually part of the scene. He was just on set while they were filming, watching them film. He does have a shaved head, like he shaved his head for this. You just can't tell while he's wearing that hat on his head, like he doesn't want to get sunburned on his head. This is Miss Tessmacher, his assistant. She is in full costume, so she was part of this actual scene. There were some military trucks spotted the other day with Luthor Corp on them. Meaning that during the movie, Lex Luthor has some military contract or he's working with the military, explaining why she might be here while these military vehicles are here, like it has something to do with Lex Luthor. This woman might be an extra. Some people thought that she could be Lena Luthor or even Lucy Lane. She might just be a random extra, like a person on the street while the big action scene was happening. There are a couple other funny Easter eggs people spotted the other day too. On the set, there are a couple newspaper stands here where you can actually buy newspapers. Notice the Daily Planet and Metropolis Eagle editions. You can see articles with pictures of Superman's recent saves. They're all based on Superman's saves from the comics, too. Think about that original line, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, look up in the sky. The funnier part to me, though, is that Clark Kent has a byline here writing about Superman, like it's Superman writing an article about Superman. It's kind of like Peter Parker at the Daily Bugle taking pictures of Spider-Man. Like, how is that kid able to get such great pictures of Spider-Man? How is it that you can write so well about Superman, Clark Kent? It's because he is Superman. Probably one of the big reminders, too, about this movie is that it's the only really big DC movie that they're releasing next year now because Matt Reeves' The Batman 2, like Robert Pattinson Batman, got delayed till 2026 just because he said the script wasn't ready. But Andy Serkis did say that they were going to start filming early in 2025. I've done a bunch of separate videos about that. There have been all kinds of reports and rumors about which villains are going to feature during that, but at least for now, Matt Reeves is going to continue in his Batman universe. We have the Penguin episodes coming later this year. I will be doing videos for that. I just did a big trailer video, so I'll post a link for that at the end of this. That'll be kind of like the Batman 1.5. It'll take place right before the events of the Batman 2 and like days after the end of the first Batman movie. Basically, it's like Penguin's Scarface meets the Sopranos series. That'll be an HBO show, so if you wanted a Batman HBO show, they're actually kind of doing that. The other cool detail too is they just announced the Green Lantern series moved from Max, which used to be called HBO Max. Don't get me started on that, like that complete nonsense with all the corporate buyouts and the HBO Max streaming service, that was crazy. All the DC series are now moving to HBO proper. That's more of a technicality, but they just want to let you know that it's HBO making those shows, not some other group of people inside Max, just because HBO tends to be way more quality. So that makes me feel way better about the future of some of these DC series, particularly Green Lantern. James Gunn also said that they just started filming Peacemaker Season 2. I'm assuming episodes probably going to drop during 2025. He has not explained how they're going to do Season 1 to Season 2 because Season 1 is DCEU and Season 2 will be part of his DCU. Season 1 will technically flow into Season 2, but it won't be canon. Like, he made this really confusing statement about how that's going to work. I still love my idea about Peacemaker becoming the psycho pirate of like the new DCU universe that he's creating, where he reboots everything, but Peacemaker is like the only person who remembers that there was a reboot. Like, wait a minute, why does Superman look different all of a sudden? Why does Batman look different? Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below. There's a bunch of big stuff coming up too. We have Deadpool and Wolverine. We'll probably get another trailer for that pretty soon. I'm also in the middle of House of the Dragon Season 2 episodes, The Boys Season 4 episodes. Anthony Starr has been fire so far. Everybody click here for my full House of the Dragon Season 2 Episode 2 video, and click here for my brand new Boys Season 4 Episode 4 video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.